Have you ever engaged in a conversation and just knew something was off? Shoot, you didn't even have to directly be involved, but you felt the stress in a way that your body responded. I remember learning about the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence in middle school US history. Excuse me if my retelling is a bit shaky. I've doubled my life playtime hours since then. I remember the class being asked the question, what does the phrase, "we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal," mean? If you're tuned into your Angelica Schuyler, you may have already have the answer, but hold on to that for me, please. I wasn't usually one to speak up in class, but this time I did. I figured that after declaring independence, the founding fathers thought it was obvious, self-evident, that everyone was on equal footing. No one is inherently better than one another, like how a king might treat people. Now, I wouldn't say I was completely wrong, but I definitely missed the mark on the second half of the phrase. I was incorrected and hit with a follow-up question. Who falls under the category of all men? Okay, a little nervousness set in, and with that guidance, it was clear that women weren't accounted for. Then the following questions came through, and the teacher revealed the answer. Black people did not count, and then it hit me. Black people were slaves, not even proper humans. I felt upset, guilty even, for something I hadn't done. I sat in my chair, surrounded by people that did not look like me, and I buried my head in the textbook for the remainder of that class. That guilt I felt, that's knowledge. And that's what feminist scholar Dian Million calls felt theory. The understanding that emotions and lived experiences are valid forms of knowledge. What I've done here, telling my experiences, is a way of healing and resisting. While having it spelled out to me that I would be seen as less than human was sickening, I recognize now that I didn't even have the heaviest load to bear. The cleverness of the Declaration of Independence wording is that in our current day and age, it can be interpreted to be seen as men of any kind, when in reality, they only intended white men to have rights. The intersectionality of being both a woman and indigenous, for example, leaves no room to be considered. Million, a indigenous feminist scholar, is quite knowledgeable in surviving through these dominant narratives. The United States and Canada love to keep the myth of the disappearing native going strong so that they don't have to acknowledge the atrocities committed to families and how they came to own this land. This is why I value practicing felt theory. If we don't tell our stories, the erasure wins. So I'll keep speaking my truth, and I hope you keep speaking yours.